We're not disagreeable in our disagreement. So we're going to have a great time this morning as we talk about those things that impact faith, of course, culture, politics, sports, major events, worldwide, regional, local, that impact your life, and comment on those things and discuss those things, but always from a kingdom, biblical point of view. That's really important because this is that kind of program. We're that faith-based program. You can call in and talk to people from around the world. Of course, joining me today is our world-famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas A. Smith. Hey, man.
Hi.
How you doing? Another Saturday, huh?
Yes, another Saturday. And we're now streaming, so they're going to watch us live again.
Are they going to watch us live again?
We'll have to watch it after.
What happened with the stream?
The encoder messed up again, so
I thought we got a new one.
we supposed to be, but it was working fine on Wednesday and Sunday, so y'all watch this back.
Oh, man. So we're going to do like the
Yeah,
old-fashioned way.
old-fashioned way, just us
Okay.
here.
Okay. All right. Just us here. We'll record it and do what we need to do.
Yep.
People will still be able to call in, though, right?
If they, yeah, some may try, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, it seemed like a regular week in the news. I'm not surprised at all that the Philadelphia school systems have gone back to masking with the epidemic of COVID reemerging, the flu reemerging, and that RSV.
RSV, yep.
Yeah, and it ain't just babies catching it
No,
now.
adults catching now, too.
And I understand it's pretty tough on the adult.
Yep.
So they've gone back to masking. Now, I was never in agreement with the fact that they should have stopped masking.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that in no brilliant deduction on my part, but I just noticed during the 2 years that we were wearing masks, people did not catch much flu.
Yep.
I mean, folk didn't even catch the common cold.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So there is some credibility to masking.
Yeah.
And then, our fear was, okay, you're going to start jamming people back together. And just like the pattern that has been from the beginning of this thing, you're going to have these great surges, and it's happening all over the country. And this time, we've got a flu that's Latin. I know my kids, it was a week and a half,
Mm-hmm. Mine, too. Yep.
week and a half trying to get over it.
Yep.
Thought they were better,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden, the flu said round two.
Yep. Fever was 6-7 days.
Yeah,
Yeah, long time.
yeah. I just don't see why people don't see the wisdom
Yeah.
in masking when it proved during the height of the pandemic that you could,
Yeah.
you could stay safe. Because I don't think I caught a cold over the last 2 years.
No, I haven't. I haven't at all.
I certainly didn't catch the flu.
No. This is only this is only going to be a 10-day masking
That doesn't make
from
sense.
January 3rd to the 13th.
That doesn't make sense.
So post holiday family gathering. So it's limited. And
I remember last Thanksgiving, last Christmas, Christmas before that, Thanksgiving before that, not to mention the New Year's celebrations. We had an incredible surge all around this country.
Yep.
But what I don't get is why pull back the restrictions so early so we can go through the cycle all over again?
Yes. And I get we have to learn to live with this, but there are ways to learn
Yeah.
to live with this.
Yeah.
That
We
method
don't-
and process.
Yeah, we don't have to keep sending people to the hospital or the
Right.
cemetery.
Right. So, I mean, parts of California are talking about it,
Absolutely.
but I can't see them doing the whole mask mandate like long term anymore. People, I mean, I saw somebody yesterday. We're in a post-COVID era, and they're
Post-COVID
yeah,
era?
they're still
What is that?
believing that COVID, the major stuff is over. We can go back to living.
It's obvious that it's not over.
Right.
You got to make it a little adjustment.
Yeah.
I think there's a national indictment on how Americans feel about their constitutional rights.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in my time of living that the government has tried to put in place to keep Americans safe, the first thing we say, you're assaulting my constitutional rights.
Right.
Smoking, seatbelts.
Seatbelts, yeah.
I mean, just name it.
Yeah.
And now a mask is an assault on constitutional rights. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
None at all. None at all. And part of it is our culture. I mean, the country's built by criminals, people doing what they want to do. So I mean, it's part of our DNA. But you've been to Japan.
Oh yeah.
In China, people just automatically think of the other person. So if they're sick, they wear a mask without nobody telling them
They don't
have to do it.
When I was traveling on the trains in Japan, I didn't know what it was. You know, I'm looking at people getting on the train, and maybe one or two people in the car would have a mask on. So I finally asked. They say, well, they're not feeling well. So what they do is put a mask on when they come outside until they're feeling well again.
Yes.
I don't think that's a stretch.
I don't think so either. I was in a dentist's office in the lobby. This guy in there just coughed, just turned his head, didn't cover. I'm sitting there like, y'all are nasty.
Yes,
people
they are.
In the stores just like
Look.
Even before COVID, you're taught
Oblivious.
Cover you know.
Here's what my early COVID revelation. I had to go to the market. I'm walking up the aisle. There's a woman at the other end of the aisle. I can smell her perfume because she was first.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, okay, if her scent is coming through this mask,
Yes.
I'm sure that the particles in the air are larger than the viral particles.
Yeah.
I can smell your perfume.
Yeah.
Something's getting through.
Right.
So if I didn't have it on, I'd have got it full flare in the face.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And to me, it's simple. You're sick, stay home.
Well,
Just in case. Or,
people don't care.
mask up.
People don't
know,
care. They don't care. I hate to tell you, they don't
I
care.
know they don't. They don't.
Anytime folk will send their kids to school,
Yeah.
I mean, sick, throwing up fevers and everything.
Yeah.
And they get mad when you call them.
Right. You got to come to pick your child up.
Just send them and get the whole rest of the school sick.
Right.
Unbelievable.
And I mean, I get it. Some parents, especially if they're like single parents, if they don't have anybody to watch their kids,
They're in a dilemma.
They're in a dilemma.
Yeah.
This is where our country needs to have some better processes in place for people that need some assistance.
Absolutely.
Whether it's government, local, whatever.
I think you're making a good point. I think if they can pass $858 billion in a defense bill, you mean they couldn't slide one of those billions over and get some kind of care for kids or some housing for veterans I mean, $858 billion to fight,
Yes.
but not to care.
Right. That could rebuild our school system.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just a piece of that, not the whole thing.
Right.
I'm not asking. I know we need a defense budget.
Yeah.
But if that's a good cause, and you can allocate money for that, almost $900 billion, then what's wrong with something for housing, health care, food in America?
Yes.
So we only think a good use of funds is for killing people, not for saving people's lives.
Yes.
That is amazing to me.
Because that lie, you were born privileged in America, you should be able to feed yourself, work, do. I was listening to somebody talk about somebody who was homeless. And,
Okay.
They basically said, if you're talking about this homeless person that, well, you should work harder, you should get a job.
Okay.
My thing is like, you don't know how this person became homeless. I mean, we've known people, good people, lost their job, fell on hard time, applied for jobs, couldn't get much,
Can't get them,
and lost it. But this assumption that people are homeless because they want to be is
a whole lot of very successful people during the .com era lost their fortunes overnight.
Yep.
And people that were living in mansions were homeless the next month.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, I heard Lyndon Johnson talking. I was listening to a tape of him, and he was talking about equality in America. He said that, and I'm paraphrasing, according to the Constitution, all men are created equal. He said, but we're not all standing on equal ground.
Yes.
And I thought that was really profound.
It is. Yep.
He said, so, there's we call it equal opportunity, but the ground is not level for the opportunity.
Yep.
And I don't know why, but you taught me this years ago, and I never forgot it. If I'm privileged and you start talking equality,
Yep.
I feel attacked.
Yes. Yep. I'm now the victim.
Yes.
Like
It's
Trump.
not equal anymore.
Yeah, like Trump. Beneficiary of the
I
system.
mean, you're living at 10.
Yeah.
You bring somebody else up to 10, and now I don't feel like I
Right.
feel like my 10 is threatened.
Yes. And that, to me, that was the ingenious part of, it was diabolical, but it was genius.
Yeah.
Though,
Yeah.
of how, when they turned the poor whites on the slave blacks,
Yeah.
they found, at first they had something in common. They said, no, we got messed this up.
Yeah.
And they made them feel superior.
Mm-hmm.
So as long, you're still poor, you still ain't got nothing.
Same economic strata.
But if you feel superior,
Yeah.
you're,
It doesn't matter. as
It don't
much.
matter.
Yeah.
That is evil genius.
It is.
And
It's like Voldemort in,
Right. Right.
in the Harry Potter series.
Yeah.
Man.
Take your eye off the real problem.
Yeah, man.
And focus on this
Well,
small problem.
I believe that a part of politics is the management of people's consciousness and awareness.
Yes. You're right. Yep.
Simply by, and former President Trump is great at this, repeating a statement over and over again
Yep.
until people that normally have good common sense
Yeah.
start believing a lie.
Yes. Yes.
But then grandmoms and them used to say a lie travels faster than the truth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And that confirmation bias. I
Oh,
already
yeah.
feel some type of way.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And he's gonna come in here, and that's the thing, y'all. How's a rich man? And I'm not mad at him for being born into a wealthy family, born on third base.
Yep.
People that aren't in the same situation find a commonality
In him.
in him
Mm-hmm.
when he wouldn't tie their shoes
No,
if.
wouldn't give them time of day. They're gonna be servants or nothing.
Yes, but it was the racial thing.
Yep. And
So
well,
it-
that racial component, and they play that.
Yep.
You know, because it works with people.
Mm-hmm.
It really does work with people.
Yep.
So I understand Puerto Rico is up in the conversation again. And I heard a newscast yesterday that they, the Senate was supposed to go to the Senate, make them a real state,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't think it was going to pass.
Yep. Republicans don't want Puerto Rico to even have the option to become a 51st state.
Why?
That's the thing I'm confused about. Maybe where it is, the type of people that are there.
Well, what can it? I mean, we call them a part of, right?
Yeah, they're a territory.
A territory.
Yeah, because now this bill.
How long they got to be a territory before they become a state?
I know. Maybe they don't want to get no more money. I think, but I think they do have some influence. Puerto Rico does have some influence in the government some way. But they gave them options. Either you can become independent on your own,
Mm-hmm.
become a state,
Yeah.
or kind of stay like a territory where you get some support from the country.
No, they need to be a state.
Yeah, but they're
That's the
giving
minimum.
them the chance for them to decide what they want to
They
do.
need to be a state because that nonsensical aid that they supposedly sent them when those hurricanes came through there,
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah,
I was offended that an official from our country was throwing them paper towels.
Yes. Yes.
Man, that bugged me.
Smiling like he's
Oh,
like,
man.
that.
And he would have been offended if they had tossed it to him.
Oh yeah, yeah. That reeks of that. I'm superior. And
Absolutely.
you better be glad I'm here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that former President Trump's companies were convicted for criminal tax fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Had been obviously going on for a while. But I think it's going to bring some attention on Jared and Ivanka because I think they broke some laws pumping up their own wealth while they were in office.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, I want to see if there's going to be any, I don't want to say rebellion within the family, but I'm interested to see who's going to throw who under the bus.
Yeah. Because supposedly they're laying low.
Very,
They're staying back.
very, very low.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, and they got money, so I'm sure they'll get around some stuff.
Well,
you know.
they made hundreds of millions of dollars while the president was in office,
Mm-hmm.
and you're really not supposed to be able to do that.
Yeah, I know. Doing all that Saudi stuff, and
You're not supposed to be able to do that.
I know.
Now, if the Democrats had done that, Republicans' hair would be on fire.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Be on fire.
Oh, yeah. Hey, come on.
You know, they talking about emails, and this guy got top secret documents in his house.
Right.
You know, come on. Emails?
Hello? Which they found out wasn't even that big of a deal. Again,
The emails, she shouldn't have done it, but it wasn't like she took top secret home
Thank you.
with her.
And it was always just her emailing off of her server, which she versus.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, to me, when Trump got elected,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden the Benghazi thing just went away,
Mm-hmm.
it was never about Benghazi's emails.
No.
They were trying to get her to lose, which it worked because most of them posted talking about her being guilty, never paid attention to the fact that that committee just dissolved.
It just went away. Because it was only to impact the election.
Thank you. And it spent taxpayer money.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. Obviously, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Well, I think they could have spent those millions of dollars that they used on the committee to help some people.
Yes.
I mean, you know what's really weird? People that don't need help call helping folk socialism.
Yes. Yep.
But people that need the help don't call it that.
No.
They call it getting help.
Right, get help. And corporate socialism. They act like they made it all on their own. They didn't make it all on their own. They got connections, deals, bought some stuff, took care of some people. Yeah. Like, come on, man. Like, you didn't pull yourself up by your own bootstraps.
As I watch the sides play out things and consistently try to establish false equivalencies between one issue and another, I'm just amazed at how the public doesn't see the stark reality of this has nothing to do with that.
Yes, absolutely.
Why is that so hard to
see?
see?
Right. It's that what about thing, which I can't stand.
I hate that.
We talking about this. Well, y'all ain't saying nothing about this. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about this. That's wrong. This is wrong. Let's focus on this.
This is on our mind. That's on your mind.
Right.
And we're talking about what's on our mind right now.
Thank you. Well, isn't this wrong? Yes, that's wrong. But that's wrong too.
You know what I hate even worse than that?
What?
The crowd that does the suppose I had done so and so.
Right.
And my first question to him is, did you do it?
Right.
No, but just suppose I had. How you going to get an attitude about something that didn't even happen?
Thank you. We ain't talking about what you might have done.
That drives me nuts.
It's like they want points for not doing what they're supposed to do. You weren't supposed to do that anyway.
How do you get mad over something that doesn't exist?
Right.
So you gotta really think about that. Suppose I had wanted to do so and so. Did you? No, but just suppose I had.
Well,
so we're gonna have an argument about that.
Right. It was something hypothetical.
Come on, man. Oh my goodness.
I know.
Any Facebook comments?
Oh, remember, we're not live.
Oh, we're not live. Yeah. Okay, so we just got to keep rolling.
But he is on though. If you want to talk.
Tom is on. Okay. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop.
Man, you saving the day today.
Bishop, I hear you guys are talking about Puerto Rico.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know a lot, but I know that when we've got the Philippines from Spain, and when we got Samoa, Guam, and all those other places, they were part of the package.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why they did not become a state like Alaska or Hawaii, but I know that they took a vote in Hawaii. Because at one time, people in Hawaii didn't want to become a state either.
Okay.
But eventually they did. But so else too, we talk about Puerto Rico. Well, at one time, people don't notice, Philippines were like Puerto Rico. They were territory, kind of, and then when we let them go to their own, become their own country. But like I said, I don't know what you guys are totally saying about Puerto Rico.
Well,
but I don't know why they're not a state.
Well, here's first off, I need to better understand the territory concept. Does that allow us to have a geographic advantage without any responsibility?
Yes, especially with places like Guam, Samoa, because those people are all citizens, and there are territories, but they don't have representation. They don't have senators.
Well, I mean, so what's the advantage to them? I think the advantage is more to us You know, if we want to send some ships out there and want to dock some people there, if we want to, but when disaster comes, we treat them distinctly different than we do people that are a real part of or attached to the country. I've never been clear as to, okay, you're the United States, whatever, but when trouble comes, we actually don't treat you like you're a part of us. I don't get that.
It's kind of like you're a citizen, but you're a second class.
Yeah.
Because you are a U.S. citizen, and you get you do get to get drafted.
So,
if there's a draft,
you can go get killed, but we're not going to help you. So it sounds like it's more of a geographic global advantage to the host country, you know, more so than the territory. So that's a it sounds strategic to me.
Yeah, because they have like non-voting representation in Congress, so it's like you're a representative there,
but you don't have a vote. So
correct.
you come to the meeting.
Right, basically, yeah.
So they invite you to dinner time, and you sit along the wall. You don't get to the table.
Yep.
Yeah, and we have a lot of territories. I mean, people don't realize over in the Pacific, close to Japan. I mean, Guam, Samoa, those places are nowhere close to here. And, they're American citizens. I'm pretty sure we have naval ships.
Yeah, those are strategic advantages.
Oh,
yeah.
Strategic advantages. That's what they are.
I have a little different question.
Go ahead.
Pastor Nick, what do you think about Elon Musk kicking the people off who says stuff you don't like on Twitter?
I mean, I think he is... he's very immature. It amazes me how people with that much power and money can be so insecure and sensitive.
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
But at the same time, part of me's like this too. He bought the space.
Right.
He could do whatever he wants to with it.
Absolutely.
If you won't like it, get off it or buy it.
That's right.
That's my thought about it. But it's social media. It's not like it's life or death.
Well, to a lot of people it is.
That's true.
I mean, you taught me that it's life
that's true.
for a lot of people.
Yeah, it is. It's where they form relationships.
Yeah, and even though they're not real.
Right.
You know. I think people like Musk are geniuses in some area of expertise. And a lot of times when you are privileged growing up,
that's true.
Part of your growth, unless your parents are extremely assertive and intentional, is not getting along with people.
Yeah.
And the money affords you a lot of leeway that a person from lesser income would not afford. So, what we're seeing is the product of his upbringing. And what makes him functional and accepted is the amount of money, therefore power, that he wields.
Yeah.
But you can see from some of the decisions he's making, his globe is in his head. He doesn't appear to think outside himself.
Yeah.
And that means he may see people as tools and pieces on a chessboard rather than actually human beings.
That's true. That's true. And I'm aware he does. I believe he has some form of special needs that kind of makes it hard for him to get along with people. Maybe not Asperger's, but somewhere. But at the same time, he
I almost slipped up. He's got a condition that's close to Asperger's.
Right. You got saved. He's doing a good job. But see, he's stirring the pot too on purpose.
Of course.
So he's doing all this stuff on purpose. It's not
intentional.
He ain't dumb.
No.
He's not dumb.
He's marketing, and he's drawing that crowd.
Yes.
By the hundreds of thousands at a time.
Absolutely.
When he said he wasn't going to censor people, but he censored people if you come after him. And something else, he had somebody said this to me years ago. We had a guy I worked for who was a plant manager. This guy knew his stuff, and I heard he got offered a vice president's position with the company, and he didn't take it. Like, kind of like, I said, well, why didn't you do that? He said, well, Tom, there's something called a level of incompetence.
Yep.
And he goes, I think I would reach mine at that point.
Yep. They keep promoting you until you can't do the job, then they get rid of you.
Yeah, and this guy was an expert at what he did. And he understood that his place was right where it was at.
Absolutely. And most people don't, Tom. Most people would say whatever promotion is offered to them, they take it.
Yeah.
And they're not even aware of their own level of incompetence when they reach that point.
You know, Elon Musk great when he started PayPal and then the car, but I think he's out of his
I didn't know Musk started
I don't
PayPal.
know that either.
He started
I'm pretty
PayPal?
sure. I'm pretty sure. Maybe Reverend Nick can
I'm looking
check
up
that
now.
out, but I'm pretty sure it was he was the
No,
catalyst behind
another
that.
guy started. Another people started PayPal. He might have been.
Okay.
He might have helped support it, but somebody else.
Maybe he was an investor.
Yeah, he might have been.
You know who they?
But
This is
the thing with the cars-
This is completely off subject. You know who they say is a very astute investor? Kevin Durant.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's invested
He's real
in
quiet. Yeah.
in some of the emerging platforms and those things and products, and made a lot of money doing it.
I didn't know that. He's quiet about that. Dude.
Yeah, he's real quiet. But he's involved in some stuff that you wouldn't think, and he got in on the ground floor,
Okay.
and he's made quite a bit of money, and all of it seems to have that nobody's paying attention to this kind of look,
Yeah.
and then he gets involved and boom.
It seems like his personality. I mean, the difference between him and LeBron. Now, LeBron, he got Buffett.
Yeah.
So he's
Yeah,
his business acumen is.
yeah,
And you got to give it to LeBron. Whatever he puts his boys on,
yes, sir. He
I
keeps
mean,
them on.
Keeps them on.
Yeah,
He lifting.
yes, sir.
You got to give it to him.
Yeah,
He's,
man.
You know.
Because I understand his agent is like respected, feared, and if open up your pocketbook when he comes, because
Yeah.
you're not going to close it until he leaves.
Yep. Yeah. I think he was representing Kyrie at one time. Was he?
They say he does a wonderful job.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. KD kind of, he stands offish, and you can see he's paying attention, but he's not saying a lot.
Well, when I look at him, Kyrie, they are quants in their field.
Yeah.
And if you look at them, we call it strange, but they have this kind of detached personality with this extraordinary expertise in one particular thing. But that one particular thing allows them to see things a little differently than everybody else does.
Yeah.
It's just, and I bet you they have no problem communicating with each other, because quants normally can talk to one another.
Yeah.
Like people would put us in the quant category. We kind of
When it comes to certain.
we just finishing each other's sentences and
It comes alive.
Before it comes out.
we're just strange together.
Right. So I got your answer about the territories piece. So
Okay.
Here's the interesting. They pay federal taxes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure.
Social Security,
Mhm.
Medicare,
Mhm.
but not federal income tax.
Okay.
And they can travel freely between the United States.
Okay.
But again, they have no power. They have like governors of their own territory, but they have no power in the Congress, and they can't vote for
So
president.
they get to pay us,
Yes.
but they don't have any influence.
No.
That's incredible.
They can't even vote for president.
That's
So
incredible.
all that stuff like Guam is here and Puerto Rico's here during the presidential elections.
Nothing.
They're there as a
It means nothing.
yes, it means nothing.
It's symbolic.
Somebody, there you go.
Right.
Yeah, it's
We got quite a few territories. I think you're talking not just Guam. You're talking
American
Virgin
Samoa.
Islands. You're talking
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I think the Kwajalein Islands.
the Northern
There's
Marine
a lot
Islands.
of stuff people
yeah.
don't even know about.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they all get the privilege of paying us taxes, huh?
Yes. That's right. Yeah. That's right. I think it's military street.
Okay.
I'm sure they
It's-
got bases there. Yeah.
Absolutely. But why then, when disasters happen, are we so slow moving them?
Yep.
Because it's all about us paying them.
Paying them.
Them paying us,
Yeah.
and us not really.
In certain parts.
Yeah.
So, something happens like in the downtown area of Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
San Juan, where
Yeah.
the money is.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll go down there and
Maybe.
take care of that.
Maybe.
Because the money,
Have you been to San Juan before?
I've never been. I've heard it's nice.
I stayed. I've been a couple times. I stayed at the El San Juan Hotel. Very classic, beautiful place. Beach is wonderful. Pool's wonderful. I enjoyed my time there. El San Juan. It's
I remember you said that years ago.
yeah. It's got the same. Not quite the same ambiance as the Half Moon, which
Okay.
I know you all enjoy.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
in Jamaica. Just
I can't wait till we start traveling again.
Doc,
Lord
Doc.
have
Who you
mercy.
telling?
I know you.
I got Cayman fever, Doc.
I know you do.
I got Cayman
Right.
fever.
And they renovated the hotel too.
Yeah, did they?
Yeah, they renovated the whole thing.
Okay.
They upgraded the whole
Oh,
hotel.
The Half Moon?
No, going to Cayman.
Oh, okay.
They upgraded
Okay.
the whole
Okay.
thing.
Okay. The what is
Oh.
it called?
The Westin.
Weston.
Yes.
Well, they should have.
Yeah, the whole.
I wonder how my buddies' restaurants are doing down there.
Yeah. I know.
I got Cayman fever.
I know.
I'm just waiting a little longer.
Yeah. Who you telling?
I'm waiting a little longer.
Hopefully, maybe next year. Hopefully. We'll
Yes,
see.
Lord.
We'll see.
Yes, Lord.
It's been a long time, Tom. It's like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but better safe than sorry.
I know that's right.
I don't want to put a damper on you guys' day, but you know, a couple of months ago, I was wondering why you guys were slowing up on opening up the church so quickly.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at COVID is coming back.
Yep.
And if you didn't do the right thing, I don't know what is, because you know, by doing that, you probably saved a lot.
I know we did. I know we did.
And people, it's back on the head. You know, people are talking about you need to wear a mask again.
Absolutely.
You know.
They moved too
And,
quickly, Tom.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, we were criticized for moving slowly, but I think the people that are honest can see the wisdom in how we work this out. Plus, a lot of times, Tom, what we learned is that people that don't have our responsibility
Yeah.
always have a lot of suggestions as to what you need to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, so we took our time, and a lot of my contemporaries, and they're not letting it out, but we have a relatively large congregation, and they have a lot of relatives in a lot of places. A lot of our contemporaries have had to shut down for a third or fourth time this year because of an outbreak of 50, 60, 70 people.
And it's not. I mean, all you need is a couple of old sisters to pass away.
Yeah.
It's definitely not worth it.
It's not worth it at all. It's not worth it at all. And our motto has been, when it's safe for grandmom to come to church, and grandmom's coming to church now. She's taking her time getting here.
Yeah.
But they're seeing that, we're taking all the precautions, doing everything we need to do. We're acting like COVID is still present. So we're keeping our people safe. And the arguments of, well, they're going to Walmart, they're going to the supermarket. But our thing is, we're only responsible for this environment.
Yep.
So we're doing what we can do to keep people safe in this environment. I don't care what they're doing at the supermarket.
Yep.
Which is nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're not spending 2 hours in the grocery store.
No, you're not. Well, some people are.
Sitting
some people
directly
might,
next to somebody.
Yeah.
So it's it's shown that the wisdom that we have exercised has made sense. And there are people, even people in our church, that think we are overboard. But how can you be overboard when people are going to the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
But once again, people make suggestions that don't have your responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah. And just because of, and thank God, because the majority of people that get COVID don't have major issues long term.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't stop the other portion,
Yep.
because you never know which part you're going to be in
Mhm.
until you get it.
Well, I
So
just
it's-
had an acquaintance of mine lost a relative
Mm-hmm.
to long COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Heart just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
From
Yeah. And,
It's amazing.
I've had
Yep.
friends pass away who you didn't think, would, because of their health. And, we could be going through round 2 pretty soon.
Well, no, we're round 2 has already started.
Yeah.
They're just doing everything they can to suppress the numbers and all, because business is scared that they have to shut down again. But this thing is growing very quickly, and we have an additional flu and the RSV going along with it. So it's not a time to remove your cautions.
Yep.
And maybe people are only responsible for themselves, and perhaps that's the reason that they're not concerned about other people.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not considering nobody else.
And as leaders, we have to consider not just our own people, but other folk who they'll come in contact with. So we have to be more cautious so our people stay safe.
Yeah.
And even in that, I know people that we're almost 3 years into this thing, and some people I know are just catching it
Yeah.
now.
For the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. A guy I
Yeah.
know for the first time just got it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get rid of his cough. It just keeps lingering. And
Look, I know somebody out and about 2.5 years. As far as they know, never caught it. They got it about a month ago.
Yep.
And they say they've never been that sick in their lives.
Yep. Yep.
So, it's out here, and we have to be careful. Tom, man, what's the weather like in Florida today?
I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Go ahead and hurt them.
It's not hot. It's only like 78 today. But,
that should be real pleasant. Is it sunny?
It's gorgeous.
Well, wait a minute. Now that we're
I know we get
now that we're talking about the weather, Tom, what did your governor do this week?
Well, things are coming out about him now where he was flip-flopping. If you go 2 years ago, he was saying one thing, and now he's saying others. Now he's going after Fauci. He
Why?
wants to sue Fauci.
That's the thing. The thing now to do,
Sue Fauci?
to get Fauci in.
Why?
Yeah.
Because they said he managed the pandemic wrong. He lied about all this
No,
stuff.
he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Anything that didn't.
It's a political move. It's got nothing to do with nothing.
Absolutely. I don't know what happened to us. I don't know why the truth is only when your mouth is moving.
Right.
Come on, the only time you win is the things are legal is when you're winning.
Right. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But he's leading in all the polls over old Donald.
Trump is going off still.
Is he upset?
Yes, he is still
Oh, yeah.
railing about DeSantis.
He must be threatened by him because
He
he
is threatened by
only attacks people he's threatened by.
Yep.
And he's blaming Fox News for
Yep.
half his problems.
Yep.
Well, he can't blame Fox News for that because
I know.
because here's the
Fox
deal.
is just turning him loose.
They were loving him,
Mm-hmm.
and he was loving them.
Yep.
And now that they had to make a decision,
Yep.
now they're the worst thing on the face of earth.
They're blaming him
Oh,
for
yeah.
Biden winning and for the midterms not going away. It was going to be a red wave, dude. We're going to take over, and
Didn't happen.
it didn't happen.
So then, like he does, they jump ship.
They jump ship. Now they're saying, "Oh, Trump, your time's over. You're fading away."
The Fox newscasters are actually saying
They're
that?
saying that stuff now. Yeah, like his time is done because they saw the results that a majority of Americans wanted to get rid of him.
No, the money has decided to
The
back
money,
somebody.
yeah, that's what I'm
else.
saying. The money did, yeah,
Money's decided.
because they start seeing how it's costing them money.
Mhm. All you need to do, follow somebody's money, and you'll see their focus.
Yep.
Yeah. Something else before we get off. I think it's changed. We used to hear, Sleepy Joe.
Yeah.
His polls were down. You know that he is up right now, past the 50% mark,
Well, he ought to
and
be.
he's kind of losing. He's kind of losing that Sleepy Joe rep because of what he's been doing for the last month. He's getting bills passed. He's standing up. He's flipped things around, I think, for the better.
Yeah.
I see when I watch how this administration has conducted itself. I see a very strategic handling of the issues.
Yep.
As an African American man, I thought coming out of the box that voting right thing should have been at the center of the target. But I'm thinking politically. Do I want that to happen in the first half of my administration, or do I want it to happen in the last half?
Yep.
Do I want to get the support that turns elections early and have it die out,
Yep.
or do I want to start talking about the last 2 years?
Yep. Yeah.
I see a very strategic, brilliant plan
Yeah.
for this thing.
Yep. He's got a good team. You got to give it to him. His,
Yeah. I think he's turned that corner of doubt.
Yeah. See, they're caught up on his ability and inability to articulate at the age he is now.
Okay.
Because he's, 80-something years old, I
Yeah.
think? And he's not a spring chicken like he was when he was
No,
50, 60
no,
years old.
no.
Why would people expect that? But that
Well,
doesn't mean his intelligence
No,
diminished.
no.
Yeah.
Like, it's
And
still
I think
there.
Part of what happened was when he would do speeches, he'd go off script a little bit, and that's when the Sleepy Joe part came out. And I think now he's staying on script,
Yeah.
and he's looking like a winner.
And the Sleepy Joe thing came from somebody who couldn't read the teleprompter. So I don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, he had a name for everybody.
I know.
And he's got one for he's got one for Ron DeSantis. He's got a name for everybody.
That's because he's a child. Thanks for calling us, Tom.
Hey, you guys.
Great.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Same to
Happy
you.
holidays.
Great talking to you. Bye-bye.
Hey, take care.
See you.
866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Give us a call. So what is it with? So I'm thinking about Carrie Lake, and So in her mind, and people that agree with her, the only time an election is legitimate is if you win.
Yes.
But if you lose, it can only be because it was rigged.
Yes.
Not because you weren't a good candidate, not because you shot yourself in the foot while you were, running, not because you're not qualified, simply because it's illegal.
Yes. And now we're going to see more of that. Trump started. Now, unfortunately, we're going to see more of that. I mean, she had people walking around the election place like Jericho.
Yeah.
Did you see? And going around there shouting and declaring and, all
She's
that.
Embarrassing. She's embarrassing. Why does she remind me of Paula White?
Like a crazier version?
Like not looking, but just that over the edge, off balance, kind of, why did?
Yeah. Well, she is off balance. Carrie Lake is, she's.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can look in her eyes.
Because I remember when, when the election was happening and you had the whole, African angels coming and, when the, I saw the tape, I tried to watch the tape of Pastor Paula doing the whole, tongue thing and African angels and stuff. And what that was a revelation for me as to the power of the political in the mind of some preachers, and how the lines between the two had become so blurred that it was driving their belief and their faith and their doctrine.
Yep. Yeah, and we're seeing that how I was watching Handmaid's Tales.
Okay.
And the guy was saying, who basically built that thing, that he realized basically how naive and how power hungry Christians can be.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically used them to get what he wanted.
Absolutely.
But again, it shows more and more now that they mix power and God, as relates to human power and political power, and God in a most erroneous way.
Yeah, because I think what happens is the politics gives you a legitimate vehicle to achieve your aspirations, but because they're Christians, they have to spiritualize it.
Gotta make it God.
To put God in their own agenda.
Yes.
I think that's basically what happens.
Yeah. And they harp on two issues.
There you go.
Abortion.
Yep.
And the LGBT crowd.
Mm-hmm.
God's judging the world, but never mind your racism, never mind how you treat the poor people. And
those two you mentioned are the shield that they operate behind. So all the other stuff that they supposedly don't believe in, like wealth and all the other things that are shadowed by the abortion and the LGBTQ agendas. All the stuff they really want to achieve is hidden behind that.
Yeah, absolutely. And what they don't realize, and this is the thing that
it's misdirection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you read Jeremiah, Isaiah, all those Old Testament prophets, people reduce Israel going into Babylon for idolatry. That was really not the biggest thing. All throughout Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel, all those, God's biggest thing with them was not just their idolatry, but how they oppressed people.
That's right.
Their treatment of people was one of the biggest reasons they went to exile.
That's right.
And their political power, God even went so far to say, I'm tired of y'all praying. I'm tired of you having these services. I'm tired of y'all coming to worship me while you're treating people like this.
That's right.
And he said that.
Yep.
But for some strange reason, we ignore those verses in Scripture.
Because we hide all that mess behind what you really should be thinking about. Christians is abortion and the gay community. That's just keep your focus on that. While we mistreat people, while we don't take care of folk, while we don't do what Jesus said, feeding the hungry, all that other
None of that stuff.
While we're not doing any of that, that's socialism. No, that's biblical. But we hide it behind and we get people focused on that until they forget the mission of Christ and jump on the boat of aspiration.
And all right, we talk biblical here.
Come on.
people keep referencing Sodom and Gomorrah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. There was the homosexual thing.
Yeah, they had it going on.
But Ezekiel tells us that one of the biggest reasons God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah was not from the homosexuality thing.
Right.
But it was how they were treating people. That's one of the biggest reasons why he destroyed it.
Well,
But we reduce it to...
But what made God go off was the way he wanted to. They wanted to treat the boys' daughters. So
Yes.
he's like, wait a minute.
So
I've had enough.
Thank you. Do you ignoring all this?
Yeah, I've had enough.
You really have to pick apart the Bible to make it say what you want it to say.
Because the launching point for his wrath was them talking about send them girls out here.
Yes. All that violence, all that. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But
We want to turn these girls into sex workers. Send them out here.
yes.
And guys like, wait a minute.
I mean,
And then they became indiscriminate because they looking at angels like they want to do some stuff to them. They want to mistreat them too. So God was like, that's enough.
why can't we see nuance? Why do we, everything's
Well,
black or white, this
yeah,
or that,
yeah,
and there's no,
Yeah.
like,
Because to see nuance is trying to expose whether you actually really care or not.
that's true.
If you see the nuances of a thing,
Yeah.
there's a gene you may not have called care, understanding, unselfishness, maybe some insight and some discernment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so you got to stay either black, white,
Yeah.
In or out. Tyranny of the word or.
Yes.
There is no and.
There is none. There is none. But it just amazes me how, well, but this country's built on using God for power and politics and money and
To
Yeah,
justify
to
actions.
justify actions,
But I mean, slavery was actually justified
Yeah.
biblically,
yes.
and it's not when you read the Bible that I read.
Right.
I mean, how's Israel in slavery the worst thing that people think in the Bible, but enslaving other people is not?
Yes. Yep.
Egypt was not about a party. They weren't having a house party.
Right.
They were slaves.
They were slaves, hard labor.
Yes, sir.
But that made sense why they took all those pieces out of the slave Bible. I want to go see that one too. They have one in D.C., like in the museum, where they actually show the Bibles they gave to slaves. They took out
Oh yeah.
parts of
Yeah.
Exodus.
Oh yeah. Had
took out,
to do that. Had to do that.
And they have them.
Yeah. They had to do that
Yeah.
because liberation was written all in the book.
Absolutely.
You can't tell them to believe it and then show them God liberating slaves.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
Yep. And it amazes me the lengths that people go through, knowing they're using God the wrong way. But we see that in church too, though.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely. We see. I've watched people that I respected from a professional point of view in the ministry during the time that former President Trump was in office. I've had to adjust the way I looked at them because their doctrine became politically driven.
Yeah.
And no matter how bizarre it became, they just didn't go back.
Yeah.
So I had casual relationships, good professional relationships that are just gone now.
Yeah.
Because once the gopher sticks his head up out of the hole,
Yeah. Ain't no going back.
you can't act like it didn't happen.
Nah, ain't no going back. And I'm okay with you being a conservative Christian. I'm fine with that.
Look,
I don't care.
Look, we've got some conservative views. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I
Yeah.
would be one if they weren't
Yeah,
just,
just over the top.
Yeah. But
And then I think some liberals are over the top.
the progressives are losing their mind too.
Just
And both are trying to use God to
and they're not doing it well.
no.
If you know your Bible,
Yeah.
they're not doing it well.
Right. I mean, Jesus spent most of his time working with the people. He wasn't in politics, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't influence politics. He wasn't in Rome trying to change stuff. His stuff started with the people,
Marginal people,
marginal people.
folk on the margins.
Yes.
As Mark says, the folk living on the living edge.
Yes. We think revival is going to start in the White House. No, it's
No,
going to start
no.
with the people,
On the edge.
people.
Yeah.
If you're there, Jesus says, that's where I am.
He said that's who I came for.
That's what I came for.
Yeah.
And he identifies with them. If you've done it unto them,
Yep.
you've done it unto me.
Absolutely. That's real personal.
Yes. But that's true. But that requires us to actually go do something, not us distancing ourselves so the government can do it.
Well,
So I'm not personally involved in it.
But it's easier to. I think one of the biggest lies that's told by Christians is, "I'm going to pray about it."
Yeah.
I think that sentence alone gives a Christian a chance to disconnect from an issue
Yep.
and probably never pray about the issue that they committed they were going to pray to.
Yep. Yep.
I don't. And then the Bible's clear when it says, I'm paraphrasing, if you know what to do
Yeah.
and you don't do it,
It's,
it's sin.
it's it. Yeah. James says, don't say I'm gonna pray about it. If the
Mhm.
person's hungry, go feed them.
That's right.
Don't-
What good is it doing?
What is it doing?
Feed them first.
What?
But, the government, some people will call it socialism, which is a political retreat from helping people.
Yeah.
And then throw it to the church, knowing that the church does not have the billions of dollars that it needs
Yes.
to do that. So the people still remain unhelped.
Yep.
And watch this, and the church gets indicted,
Mm-hmm.
and the government doesn't.
Right. Yep. I think I sent you that thing where Bishop Jakes and Pastor
Oh, yeah.
Hall was going.
Oh, yeah.
She said that stuff, and he said, "How are we going to do all this?
Mhm.
The average person doesn't tithe. We ain't got this much
Mm-hmm.
money. It costs this." He's like, "Where the money coming from?"
She wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
She
No.
wasn't thinking. She was giving a political answer.
Yeah. That's true.
The church ought to do this. The church is supposed to help,
Yes.
but the church doesn't have the same resource power that the government has,
Yeah.
unless they want to give the church that
Yeah.
economic leverage, and then we'll use it.
Yeah. Like we would love to have
Oh,
a bunch of
man.
homeless shelters.
Come on, man.
You said we got to build into the senior housing.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. We'd love to do it.
I mean, that
Love
costs
to do
money.
it. But I'm not sure that they want that problem solved.
No.
Because if they want a community problem solved, they can enlist churches like ours.
Yep.
And we would aggressively
Mm-hmm.
start going after these issues, which we're trying to do through our nonprofit outreaches now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still not going to have the global impact that we would like to have.
Yeah. Yeah. But as you said, there's money in other people's poverty.
That's right.
There's this other people being down.
Yeah,
There's exploited
it's
money.
part of
there.
capitalism.
It's part of capitalism. It's
Got to have poor people
it's
for have rich people.
beneficial
Yes,
for them
sir.
to be poor. So.
Yes, sir.
So.
Man, we're out of time.
Yep.
I am so happy that you've joined us on this special OnPointe presentation. We had some streaming issues today. We hope you're going to watch this later on. And you can always write us on the site that you watch it. We've got, I don't know if it's even worth making an announcement, but we got church tomorrow, virtual at 8 and live at 11. Send your prayer request to social@go2bethany.com. Go, the number 2, Bethany.com. social@go2bethany.com. Send your prayer requests in. We'd love to pray for you and with you. And you know about our podcast platforms. We look forward to seeing you in church. We look forward to seeing you on Wednesday evenings. I'm still trying to get the registration thing for Wednesday worked out in my head.
Yeah, it was. We had to find the best way possible to not confuse people. So
Right.
When you register, you register for a week in advance.
Okay.
So this Sunday, you're registering for Wednesday, the 28th.
And the following Sunday.
Yeah, the following Sunday. Yeah.
So you're registering
like a
for
weekend advance,
Wednesday
yeah.
and Sunday.
Yeah,
You're
for a
registering for
weekend
both.
advance.
Okay.
Yep.
That makes more sense to
Yeah.
me. So when you register, you're going to register for Wednesday and Sunday at the same time.
Yep.
Praise the
Weekend
Lord.
advance, yep.
Because I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, no, that's at the same time. The only thing that's going to be different is New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Because that's a Saturday
That's special.
service.
That's special.
We're going to run it starting the 21st to the 28th.
Okay.
So give people a week to do it.
Okay.
Then I'll give us the 3 days to do all of our prep
Okay.
for New Year's Eve.
All right. Why didn't we start earlier?
I think we were still working out some of these kinks,
Okay.
but we got
Okay.
it.
All right. So glad you joined us today. Remember, for Pastor Nicholas Smith, I'm Bishop Dave G. Evans. This has been OnPointe, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Remember now, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. And I'll see you next time. We'll see you next time on OnPointe.